right, can I ask you guys, what on earth is going on in the NFL? I mean, in the past week, you hear a story about Frank Clark getting indicted on charges, and by the way, these are felony charges of him owning an Uzi. Then we hear that Barkevious Mingo got cut by the Atlanta Falcons because of indecent exposure to a kid. And then if you just go on Twitter, just innocently scrolling about Twitter, you'll hear Devin Bush attacking smaller content creators for some reason. A lot of strangeness has been going on, and I apologize because I was ignoring those more aggressive news stories because I should be somewhat more consistent in the more edgier stories I decide to cover on this channel. But I digress because this all culminates in what happened to Richard Sherman today. Now, before we get to the content, I just want to let you guys know we're giving away a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. We're going to announce the winner of the giveaway in August on a post in my community tab. And if you could leave a like on this video, that'd be very much appreciated. Now that we get all that out of the way, Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I know some of you guys are going to laugh at what I'm about to say, but Richard Sherman is considered to be one of the more intelligent players in the entire NFL. Yes, I know we've made numerous videos on his trash talking ability, especially the one he did to Tom Brady that he instantly regretted, which ended up being one of our more popular videos on this channel. But whether you love him or hate him, you definitely have to respect the body of work that Richard Sherman has done on the NFL field. Bear in mind, this is a guy that was a wide receiver during his college years in Stanford. He didn't get along with his head coach, Jim Harbaugh. He ended up getting drafted by the Seattle Seahawks in the 5th round of the NFL draft, and he turned out to be one of the best corners of the past decade, being selected to 3 first-team All-Pros, 2 second-team All-Pros, and 5 Pro Bowls, not to mention winning a Super Bowl. But what's even more impressive is Richard Sherman never neglected his education. As a matter of fact, he graduated from Stanford in 2010 with an undergrad degree in communications, and he also began work on his master's degree. To give you an idea of how intelligent Richard Sherman is, at least in my opinion, this is a man that negotiates his own contracts with opposing teams. At least he did with the San Francisco 49ers, which was extremely impressive. Bear in mind, he signed a 3-year, $39 million contract with the San Francisco 49ers after rupturing his Achilles tendon the year before. And although he remained unsigned up until this point, he was considered to be a favorite candidate to eventually make that transition in a front office NFL role and maybe someday become a NFL general manager. And the reason I'm providing you all this context is what I'm about to tell you, first of all, should be taken with an open mind because we still don't know the full story, and second of all, sounds extremely out of Richard Sherman's character. Not to defend the man already, but we just don't have 100% of the facts. But let me tell you guys the story and you guys could draw your own conclusions. So according to Adam Schefter, free agent cornerback Richard Sherman was booked at 6:08 this morning at the Seattle Correctional Facility for quote-unquote burglary domestic violence. This was so bad that Richard Sherman also was denied bail. Now, a common question that is arising from this entire story is how on earth is a man that made almost $80 million throughout the entirety of his career not allowed the opportunity to post bail? Well, apparently in these types of situations, at least in domestic violence incidents, the standard procedure for suspects of domestic violence are that they will be denied bail until they can appear before a judge. If there's even a call about a domestic violence incident, then both parties must be separated. At least one person has to go to jail no matter what. According to the spokesman, who didn't confirm this was Richard Sherman, but we're assuming it's Richard Sherman, said that a 911 call from the residence was received at 2 a.m. Pacific time. The person calling said that an adult male family member who did not live at the residence was attempting to force his way into the home. Now, when police arrived, the suspect was outside of the home. He resisted arrest and fought with the police, but was eventually apprehended and taken to a local hospital to be checked. After he was cleared medically, he was booked into the King County Correctional Facility. No one at the residence was injured, and this is even more fascinating because bear in mind, Richard Sherman is the vice president of the NFL Players Association Executive Committee. So this is one of the more important players in the NFL in regards to the business end of the NFL. And of course, whenever this happens, the NFLPA has to come out and make a statement on the incident. And here's what their statement was. We were made aware of an arrest last night of one of our player leaders for an alleged domestic violence incident and have activated our domestic violence crisis protocol for the protection and support of everyone involved. We will continue to monitor events closely as more facts are made available to us. But wait, there's more. According to Adam Schefter, and this is while I was editing this video, we just got word that this isn't the only reason why Richard Sherman is being investigated, because apparently Washington State Police are conducting an additional investigation on Richard Sherman in connection to a hit and run and damage to State Department of Transportation property. State police say that at about 1 a.m. Pacific time, they received a report of a single car incident. A car struck a concrete barrier. The driver apparently was able to drive the vehicle off the exit and abandoned it in a nearby parking lot. The registration was run and it came back to Richard Sherman. So to recap everything, and I don't think I've ever heard of a case like this in my life. I've never heard of a burglary domestic violence case in my entire life, but on top of that, not only do you have the burglary domestic violence, which is why Richard Sherman was initially being looked into and was initially booked, but now on top of that, there is a hit and run incident in regards to a vehicle that was left abandoned that is coming all the way back to Richard Sherman. This story is absolutely insane. I mean, it's very abhorrent in my opinion, based off of just me following Richard Sherman's career over the past decade, and then all of a sudden you have all these reports coming out of quite possibly one of the most insane nights that I've ever heard of in my entire life. So we're gonna keep you guys covered on what happens next, because I feel like the story is just developing, and this probably isn't gonna be my first video on it, but I wanted to get you guys something really quickly just so I could inform you guys of what's going on so far in this entire situation. So do me a favor, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you sack the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and remember the giveaway we're conducting to any subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. If you want to send me news, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.